Have you ever just stopped and wondered, what is this all for? Felt a little adrift? Well, in this explainer, we are tackling that question head on. We're going to break down a really powerful 5-part framework for finding meaning based on Rick Warren's The Purpose-Driven Life.
It really is the ultimate question, isn't it? Why am I here? It's the one that pops into your head in the quiet moments. And let's be honest, it can feel huge, kind of daunting. But what if the answer wasn't something you had to invent out of thin air, but something you were actually designed to discover?
So you're looking at two fundamentally different ways to answer that question. On one side, you've got existentialism. It basically says, hey, it's all on you. You have to create your own meaning from scratch, all while facing what the source material calls cosmic loneliness. It's a really heavy burden. But the other view frames life as this incredible adventure of discovery, of finding your place in a grand story and fulfilling a role you were literally designed for. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into the problem of purpose itself. Then we'll get to the foundational answer that flips the whole question on its head. After that, we'll jump into the 5 specific purposes for our lives, and we'll wrap up by zooming out to see how it all fits into one epic, eternal mission. Right then, first up, the problem of purpose. Let's really get into why this idea of having to create meaning all by yourself can feel so, well, impossible.
This right here, this captures the feeling perfectly, the existentialist burden. It's like being an artist staring at a giant blank canvas. That's your life, and being told, okay, create a masterpiece. But you have no instructions, no model to look at, and no one to even tell you what a masterpiece is supposed to look like. It's this profound, crushing weight of trying to make something significant out of nothing. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this framework suggests a completely different starting line. I mean, if the burden is all about self-creation, then the answer has to begin somewhere else entirely, right?
And here it is. This is the foundational answer. Just 3 little words that create a massive paradigm shift. In a world that is constantly screaming at us to look inward, to find ourselves, this idea just flips the whole script. It's not about you.
The logic behind that quote is something called the inventor principle. Think about it. You would never ask a hammer what its purpose is. You'd ask the person who made it. Well, in the same way, this framework argues that to find our purpose, we have to go to our creator. And just like that, the crushing burden of having to invent meaning is lifted, and it's replaced with a joyful search to discover it.
Okay, with that foundation in place, let's dive into the 5 purposes. We'll start with the first 2, which are all about connection. First, looking upward to God, and then outward to His family.
So what's purpose number 1?
Your very first purpose is to live for God's pleasure. Now, this is called worship, but it is so much bigger than just singing on a Sunday. Worship is about making God the very center of your life. It's about enjoying this incredible relationship with Him through trust and love. This purpose is really designed to satisfy our deepest human longing for connection.
This slide just nails the difference. I mean, is life just about shouting into a silent, empty, indifferent universe? Or is it about being in a loving conversation with a God who actually planned you and hears you? That's a huge shift in perspective.
All right, let's move on to the second purpose.
Your second purpose is to be part of God's family. This is called fellowship, and it's basically the direct antidote to loneliness. The whole idea is that we were never created for isolation. We were actually designed for a spiritual family where we learn to love each other, support each other, and do life together.
Wow, this contrast is so powerful. That existential view can leave you feeling like a cosmic orphan, just radically alone. But this second purpose completely reframes our existence. We're not orphans at all. We're members of a body, all intricately connected and designed for community.
Okay, now let's look at the next 2 purposes. These shift the focus a bit to our own growth and how we can contribute to the world.
Which brings us right to purpose number 3.
This purpose is all about who you are becoming. It's called discipleship, and it's this lifelong process of being shaped and molded to become more like Christ. This view suggests that God is way more interested in your character than He is in your comfort, and that He uses every single part of your life, especially the tough stuff, to help you grow.
So instead of the anxiety that comes with being a blank slate, this purpose gives you a clear path. It's not about inventing a self from nothing, but about restoring your character to its intended design, with a perfect model to follow. The pressure to invent is totally replaced by the process of becoming.
And now for the 4th purpose.
This one is all about what you do. It's called ministry, which really just means you are uniquely shaped to serve other people. The idea here is that your talents, your passions, your experiences, none of it is random. They were all given to you for a very specific reason, to make a unique contribution to the world.
This is where the acronym SHAPE comes in. It's such a great tool to understand how you're wired. It stands for your spiritual gifts, your heart or passions, your natural abilities, your unique personality, and all of your life experiences. The way those 5 things combine is totally unique to you, which means you have a contribution to make that literally no one else on earth can.
And that brings us to the final purpose, the big one. This is the one that gives all the others an ultimate eternal significance. And finally, we have the 5th and ultimate purpose.
You were made for a mission. This is about realizing you get to be part of a story that is so much bigger than just your own life. Your final purpose is to share the hope that you've found with others, get in to play a part in what the Source calls God's grand redemptive plan for history.
And this, right here, brings us to the ultimate stakes. Does our life story, in the end, just signify nothing? Is it all just a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury? Or is our life a crucial chapter in a story that has eternal significance? This 5th purpose provides the ultimate answer to that deep-seated fear of a meaningless end.
So when you put it all together, these 5 purposes form a complete, cohesive answer to that huge question, why am I here? It starts with worship, connects you in fellowship, grows you through discipleship, uses you in ministry, and then sends you out on a mission.
And that brings us right back to that revolutionary idea we started with. If it's true, if your life really isn't about you, then what is it about? This framework offers one incredibly powerful and comprehensive answer to that very question.